Well, let me ask you this. We always have this sort of debate about, is making a new law the best way to get people to do something that is in their own interest to do? And in the case of texting while driving, is that sort of in the realm of like driving while drunk, where you have to make a law against it because there are just so many people that don't have the self-control? Or is making a law against it kind of being a busybody?
I think we
one more law that's hard to enforce, one more thing you can't really. How do we decide?
Well, but I think sometimes people need a guide, and some people just need to know, the law says I can't do this, so I won't. But it's so dangerous, and I don't understand why people think it's okay.
I'm playing devil's advocate, by the way. I'm not attacking them for doing this. I understand why they did it. I've had family members who've been in accidents because somebody was texting. I'm just curious, like with drunk driving, we set a threshold. We say if your blood alcohol level is over blank, you're in violation of the law. We've decided that at this point, you're now an impaired driver. With our modern smartphones that can do so many different things, we've selected texting, and we've said, okay, that's going to be something we make a rule against. But, I mean, is that really the best way to change the behavior?
Because now can't you start watching things on TV?
You can watch video. Where do we go with this?
So it needs to be broader than texting. So interaction on the phone, other than verbal conversation.
Well, a lot of people said, why not just go to the extent of saying you can't use these devices unless you're using a hands-free headset.
They could do that. They did it in New York, didn't they?
Done it in California. Yeah. No, the driver cannot use the cell phone.
Would that make more sense?
Probably.
And the reason we don't do that is because...
In Universal City?
To asking for too much from people, to going
probably. Well, Universal City is Universal City. It doesn't really incorporate going 70 miles an hour on the freeway for the most part. For the most part, they're doing it in a city where the highest speed limit is 35 miles an hour.
And it's primarily retired military following the law anyway.
You remember my ticket incidents. Mm-hmm. My freaking ticket incidents that I had.
I'm glad you're over it.
4 tickets in a row, because they got you on every corner.
For texting while driving?
No.
She gets a ticket every time she leaves here because she drives so enraged down Eisenhower Road.
No, it was on my way.
She's ticketed for enragement.
Exactly. Well, all right. So this is a good thing, but they're probably going to have to. This is probably going to be the beginning of a whole series of laws about stuff you cannot do with your smartphone while you're driving, right?
Only because it's dangerous to other people and people are not responsible.
Now, what happens is cars get more and more.
Big screen on the dashboard.
Well, yeah, I mean, cars are going to have Wi-Fi. Some already do for internet radio. The car is basically a media center now. Already cars have DVD players and televisions. So how are we going to figure this out? The people that make the cars are marketing them as places where we can do all of these things, but the laws are going to say, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that.
Well, a typical example was the police officer Gabe Trevino being involved in the accident where there was a fatality. He was probably using the computer in his car.
Yeah.
I mean, it's right there in front of you.
So we don't have any common sense anymore.
So we can't figure out. We don't have the common sense.
No, we don't.
To know what is in our own interest.
And that's really the whole point of this whole morning. Is that it's all about...
That we don't have any common sense?
No, it's all about common sense. We don't seem to have any. For anything. It's okay to make a law about texting,
we don't have the
but
vision.
It's not okay to make a law to make sure that, that you're not dropped from the healthcare list if you're sick. I mean, it's like we pick and choose the laws that we want.
Well, but a lot of the laws are after the fact, and we need the vision to go before. And as you say, Jack, we now know these cars are becoming more technologically operable. So we need somebody that says voice activated only or hands free only, and then and make it like the Constitution, make it all encompassing, and don't be restrictive about small things like texting or dialing the phone.
I think they just wanted to start out with that. I think this is an experiment like everything else. I don't think you should. Some people are on the phone constantly, and part of their problem when they have their phone, you can tell who's on the phone by the way they turn.
Oh, really?
The way they turn the corner.
I want to hear this.
They got the phone.
All right, hold on. I want to hear this.
Is it
Explain
a Democrat or a Republican?
Well, say you're at a light and somebody's on the phone and it's not hands-free. The way they
left-hand turn is a Democrat.
They're making a left-hand turn, at 2 miles an hour, and I missed the light on Topperwine turning onto Kitty Hawk. It's an everyday occurrence. So then everybody else has to sit there while this moron gets through the light.
Listen, folks can get by without using the phone when they're driving. They can wait.
Yeah, but they're not. That's just it. I know that. I don't use my phone in the car. If somebody calls me, I'm like, I'm in the car. Bye. And that's the end of it.
Good for you.
I'm not making I don't, because I have common sense to some extent. You know, and not everything.
I think we all believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that we will do the right thing and the safe thing and the rational thing. We're afraid of the other driver plowing into us while she's sending a text message or he's answering a phone call.
Yeah, we're defensive.
So what we're saying is we need the law because there are those people, not me, those people who can't handle having this power or this ability while they're driving.
We've seen how dangerous it. I almost got killed coming down. I mean, we were going slow enough. She was turning her car into my lane. I had to actually slam on my brakes.
She was aiming at you, Lisa. She's
one
of our listeners.
She was on the phone. I can't.
She just wrote to me.
I can't
She's
tell
calling
you what
you.
I
She says
did
she'll
after
get
that,
you next time.
But we came to a light, and I had an umbrella in my hand, and that's all that I can tell you.
Is it going to
about
make us any safer? Probably not. Is it going to raise awareness? Probably. Look, our drunk driving laws have gotten so past the what is even reasonable, and I'll tell you why I say I'll say this is because you can be impaired. Say you're over the limit of 0.08, but if you hit a pedestrian who's dead drunk, say he's 0.24 dead drunk, and he stumbles in front of you and you have no way of hitting him, you are going to jail for 10 to 20 years because you were drunk driving, even though the pedestrian was drunker than you are. You could have an alcohol level where you may not be drunk, but it's over the 0.08 limit. You're driving through an intersection. You have a green light. Someone smashes into you, runs the red light, and they die. You are convicted of manslaughter.
What's the moral of this story?
The moral of the story is
don't
that
drink and drive.
No. Here's my point.
I know what you're
Here's
saying.
my point: is you can make laws so draconian, so hugely punitive, and it still doesn't make much difference because people still drive drunk.
So in the end, the people that the texting law is most intended for, right? The people that are the most
biggest
distracted and inattentive, they will probably continue to text.
Sure,
and the people that are good little, church-going citizens who probably seldom, if ever, send a text message, they will abide by this law because they abide by all laws, but they really weren't the ones we were worried about in the first place.
Maybe. I'm
just
saying
thing with drunk
it's not going to make us any safer. Just going to raise awareness.
Well, if you're drunk driving and you don't kill somebody, then there's a good possibility that you'll be able to go out and drive again. Because by the time you kill somebody, you get to court and you hear these stories that you got cited 8 times, 9 times. It's like, we're not doing anything.
Yeah. No, my whole point in doing that drunk driving thing is just to say that we've come up with these laws so draconian, but it hasn't seemed to make any difference.
I don't know if this is incorporated in the universal city law or not, but let me just throw this out there. Maybe we can't do that much about people as they're driving, but we certainly could do this. It's very easy to find out when you're investigating an accident whether the phone was in use transmitting or receiving a message or a call at that moment, right?
Sure, yeah.
I mean, you can pin it down to the second, right?
Okay.
Yes.
So all you do is you say, look, if you are in an incident or an accident and we find out that you were sending or receiving text messages, this is going to be exponentially worse for you. That's probably the biggest, what would we say,
deterrent?
Disincentive or deterrent we can give people. Because people are going to know they're not going to catch me sending a text message. I'm going to get away with this 99% of the time. Like drunk driving. Obviously, 99.9% of them are getting to their destination. They're not getting caught. They're not having an accident. The number one deterrent is people know if I am caught and proven dead to rights, I'm in a whole lot of trouble.
Do you think the same kind of people text as drive drunk?
It's hard to text while you're drunk.
How
Let me tell you,
know?
Believe me, I've tried. It's hard to text when I'm sober. Have you seen how small these buttons are?
Well, that's why I don't text while I drive.
I don't text.
You got to be sober to send a text
My
message.
fat fingers won't work.
I can tell you, I don't have texting on my phone. I am people who text me, they're blocked, because I have gotten the most stupid junk from people who seem to have nothing else to do.
I thought you didn't have texting on your phone.
I don't. I mean, before. That's why I stopped it. Oh. I was getting these texts, and it's like, I don't want to hear dirty jokes. I don't want to see pictures of whatever, and that's why I stopped it, because it's ridiculous.
If only more of us could be like you.
Well, no, that's not.
Coming up, the lightning round on Gang of Four on News Talk 550 KTSA.